Back on Reier on YouTube on a Monday night. It is time for Cart Golf with myself, Travis Reier, and our industry insider right here, Mr. Casey Smith. And Casey, boy, no shortage of topics once again this week. You think about our discussions a week ago as it related to Tiger Woods. We were sort of excitedly wondering about his status for the Masters. Could he possibly find his way onto the golf course and be a participant in the 2026 Masters? Now, after the events of Jupiter Island last Friday, first and foremost, you just wonder about his overall well-being. And we've been down this road before, so to speak, with Tiger. And to a much more secondary level, what will Tiger's presence be like, if at all, for Augusta, Georgia in a week's time?
I would say that he probably uh you know I was told 2 days ago probably not playing, and I was told there just wasn't any that wasn't a thought of playing. I was also
Mm-hmm.
told today that he's probably playing. And I think what everyone had to try to figure out was, did
Wait a
he get
minute. Wait a
hurt?
minute. You were told today that he
He's
probably
probably
will still play in the 2026 Masters.
this I was told this afternoon, and the person that
Wow.
I told me would certainly uh get it. My son. What?
No worries.
What?
Everyone's
Okay,
welcome
grab
here
that.
on Cart
Thank
Golf.
you.
I'm sure he is a budding young player in his
He
own
has just
right.
got
I
his
have no
first set
doubt
of
about
clubs.
that. Nice.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No
Back to it. So
worries.
I was told, that's when I was a little when I started answering that. I was like, I thought heard a little human over here that was in
Bring
bed.
him on. Yeah.
I was told after the day after that even over the weekend, it's just Sunday. So it's told Saturday and Sunday that I think he was at the golf course, right? He was prepping to play golf. He had signed up for the U.S. Senior Open that day,
Yep.
something we had discussed about him winning.
You had been
That
bullish on that for
Yeah,
sure.
he signed up that day. He was coming from the medalist to his house. That where he had that wreck is actually very close to where Coach Saban just bought.
Nick Saban's got a
Yeah, I mean,
place
like
right there.
right by where Coach Saban lives. It's about a 30 mile per hour zone. All that happens. Um, I think he hasn't made a statement yet, and they're probably not going to, because if his statement comes up, it's going to come. He'll have to see the media next week, right? He plays in Augusta. He's going to have
Yeah.
to see the media, and he's opening the patch next week with Augusta National. He's
Supposed to
got
be
to be
there for
there for
that.
that. Supposed to be there
Yeah.
for that. I think his dealings of what's going on in terms of, was he well to play, because he was in recovery mode, and that was the whole. He knows he's only got so many of these things. By him refusing the urinalysis, what I'm told is in October or whatever, November of last year in Florida, you would know this, you're a Florida resident, that
Mhm.
law changed. And so that urinalysis results in what happens if you don't do that. Well,
Right.
everyone knows that he won a US Open taking medication. He
Yeah.
was open about that on a broken leg. You can't have the surgeries he's had and not. And so it's either Tiger Woods gets all the way well and probably not pain free enough to play golf, or he has to take stuff to play golf. And it's just lucky that no one's been hurt in any of these things but himself. I mean,
Yeah.
he almost killed himself in 2021. Truthfully, almost killed. I was told during this, the same person said should have his foot really at that point of it could have been amputated.
Right.
And it didn't. So I think, from what I really do think, I think 50-50. He's probably navigating some media, how they're going to deal with it. There's a lot of shame there, I was told. There's a lot of, like bummed out because he's definitely a different person now. Got a lot of perspective of like crap, you know,
Well, he's a
really in a good
father first and
He's a
foremost.
father.
I would think with two kids that would be,
And he's a really great father. They're like, the whole time, and even
he's
he had his issues. She would say, his ex Elin would say, he's a great father. He's been a great father, and he's got a great partner. Said he's happy with his partner, and so I think I only have so many masters left. I made a mistake. I'm not perfect. I'm shocked we haven't heard that yet, but that's what leads everyone to go. Is he going to play in the Masters? Make the announcement. He is in the field as of today. He is in the field. So he
Yeah.
would, is it ceremonial in the field and he's well enough to go up there and he's going to go be a ceremonial in the field just in this year? I think that's even potentially in play. He goes and opens the patch. He's in his whole thing. If you're really in his spot, Jack Nicklaus is a member and has a cottage there. Arnold Palmer was a member there. Gary Player was never a member there. Tiger Woods was going to be a member
Gary's
there.
still not happy about that, by the way, Gary. Still
Right. So
salty.
there's pomp and circumstance and here's Coldwater.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
here's my thing with Tiger, and I agree. There's obviously only a few more left in him, but as far as putting his wellness in danger by playing golf tournaments. At the end of the day, I know what he's trying to get to some things. I'm still sure because he's so competitive. He's so driven where the tour victories are concerned or the major championships are concerned. Even what you've talked about here the last couple of weeks where the U.S. Senior Open is concerned because he won the junior, he won the
He would be the
U.S.
only
amateur
person in the history. He'd be the only person
to
in
do
history of
it.
golf to have all trophies: U.S. Junior, U.S. Amateur,
I guess
USGA, U.S.
my thing
Open.
is I'd rather Tiger not have that history than Tiger be history
Oh
because
yeah,
I mean the data right now over the last decade is suggesting that whether he realizes that or not, his mortality is very much in question beyond the
yeah,
next few years at
yeah,
this rate.
yeah. I mean, he's got to stop driving. Elon Musk doesn't spend ad money on Tesla, but he should be the face of FSD. That would be the perfect person. I have now. He can make up both of them. Could make a men off of that. I am now FSD. I mean, that's what he needs. If he's not going to give up driving, you have to have. It's almost the point of like if you're going to get stuff like that happen to you, you're going to have to go to the FSD. I've even
Mm.
heard people talk about that. The person that tells me that really is very familiar with the situation. He was very empathetic in, hey man, you got to get well, right? And if that's a problem, if that medication is a problem, and you're having to do that to play golf, then you can't play golf. You got to get yourself well for your life, for your kids, for your whatever. I understand we're all competitors, and that person a little bit older than us and very reserved, but I know in competition, basketball players, football players, they're all going in the locker room and getting, whatever they got to get to go finish the game. So it's hard to judge it from that. But you can't. They're not going to get behind the
Here's the thing
wheel.
about those guys, though. They're done by 35, usually, other than Tom Brady. I mean, they're done by
It's true.
35. Tiger's in his 50s now, and he's chasing this stuff. And that's sort of the difference between golf and other sports. Hey, if you can still
Look,
do
man,
it,
2021
look
didn't
at Phil
scare you.
Mickelson. You know,
2021 didn't scare you. Then I don't know what would scare him. That
and
I
you
heard
you
of,
say he's
that was
got people.
bad.
You say he's got people telling him things like, "Look, you got to get well. We got to address this." Does he really have people around him though that you think?
I mean, probably. I think there's probably a lot of people concerned of, hey, man, this time around they say that nothing happened. Everyone walks away, and it's like, hey, and this person said family and girlfriend. I mean, he really likes
What's
what's going on
left
in
of
his
his
life.
family though? I mean, his
He's
his sort
happy
of
with
his
he's
north
dating.
stars were his mom and his dad. He doesn't have any siblings. He's an
Yeah, I
only
think
kid.
he's finally in a relationship that he's apparently happy with, and he's helped her kids. I mean, I think this is a
Yeah.
different person, right? In terms of a lot more of a human than he used to not be a really good person. I mean, there
I,
was
I
a
don't
time
I
in his
don't think he's a
career.
bad person. I just think he's a
Well,
person
I think
a
there was a
person that
time in
needs
his
help.
career. Yeah, I think there
Well,
was a
yes,
time in
he
his
was a
career.
bad person.
He wasn't.
Sure.
And so even the people that I know that are around, like when that was when he was self-absorbed. He's been humbled. This is that street, it's a 25 or 30. It's almost to an area of a school zone. It would be like driving through North River,
Yeah.
over there in a neighborhood street around or wherever, you name it, just a street. And he's
That's
Passing
why golf
people.
carts out and everything else in a community like that.
Yeah, I mean your bay and ocean right here, where that is in Jupiter Island. I mean, yeah, I mean you've seen what Coach Saban where he lives. It's right by Coach
Right.
Saban's house.
Right.
So I would say we probably see him. He's probably what he. I would assume his response is to everyone is you know that was what it was told to me. You know that to function to do these. Now the 21 thing is different. It was edible gummy related. He was trying to take them to not hurt instead of taking pain pills. And he's eating handfuls of gummies. He was tired and was going to the shoot just because he was in that much pain. Should have just said no. I got to stay home. Right. Gets on that interview. He's all messed up. He looked impaired. Right. I mean, yesterday or a couple days ago, the photos to me looked. We both would know if
Well,
someone's
enough
impaired or
to
not.
administer the field test and then move forward with the different aspects of testing, like the breathalyzer, which I'm sure he understood he was going to blow 0.00. But then when it came time for the urinalysis, he understood where that was headed.
So
It's not.
something's got to be going on though. 2021, they say he's accelerated in that black box that was in the car,
Mhm.
and this time that's the thought that there was. He's getting around, and as he's going around, he's
Yeah.
accelerating on
Yeah.
a street like that. It's like, are you blacking out?
Yeah. And look, as far as the pain stuff, it's more of the icon. It seems like not in most cases, because there are plenty of icons that we've seen in various sports or in various fields who didn't struggle as much, certainly, or at all with what I call civilian life. It's been a real struggle for Tiger. And you think about it just in terms of that generation, the two guys that have struggled with it immensely, Tiger and Phil.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not throwing Rory in there. Rory's younger,
He's got a
um,
clean record though.
and he's been okay. But it's amazing in a multitude of ways that the parallels between those two for all these years, they extend beyond golf.
Yeah, you got Phil's obviously known gambling addiction and everything that chased off. They're just chasing the juice, right?
It's
I
got
guess
to
that's
be.
what it is.
Yeah.
Competitive junkies, and
What
I,
makes them
I, I,
breaks them.
but
Yep.
what happens though? Like, would you rather him play and maybe, as Anthony Kim said, be human and try to use this as a way to teach a lesson to everyone and really show with your actions? I know it's probably a lot of people are gonna go, well, that's just him saying whatever again. Or I almost feel like, hey man, you're really pushing it to play the Masters, as you probably can tell. Why don't you just get well for the U.S. Senior Open? If that's put that on your calendar
I
and don't
say
kill
get well
yourself.
for your kids.
Get well.
That's
And
that's
that's
me as a
that's
person, get well. And then the golf, so
yeah,
much of that is already in the barn for Tiger Woods that
yeah.
there's not a lot still out there. I'm not of that belief that there's still 2 or 3 majors out there and, maybe 5 or 6 tour wins. No. I mean, the Masters he can win maybe because he just knows that place and it suits him so well. But as we talked about, just the physical restraints that he has to
That's
try
why
to
he can't
get
win the
around
Masters. Yeah, he can't win that. I don't think he can win
PGA,
there anymore.
yeah, the
Yeah.
British,
I, I think you're
it's
going to see
over.
him win. I think he'll win. I think he's going to be determined enough in the next decade if he can stay somewhat well, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm with you. Like get well first,
I'm
but you're
not,
going
and
to
I
have
and
opportunity.
not admonishing him in any form or fashion, because as we know, uh, we all have our demons and our issues that we have to work on every day. Everybody does. But that's where I'm at with Tiger. I don't care about the golf anymore with the guy. I mean, dude, go
That's sort of
and,
why I
and
think
people
you could
told
see him.
him be honest with him
Yeah,
and
be
assertive with
honest with
him.
him.
And if he pushes you away, at least you tried, you
Yeah,
know.
because he's really close to. If he keeps it up, you're right. He'll be history, and that's
Who
I think
are
that's
Casey, who are his true friends that we can really count on
Justin
one or two
Thomas.
hands? Justin is now, But
Yeah.
it kind of,
What's his
remember,
name?
it was Nota Begay back when he
The
was
guy.
at Stanford. Then it was Mark O'Mara when he was new on tour, right? Then it became guys like Stricker that you've talked about here on the program. And now it's the newer era with Justin Thomas.
It's the guy. The guy. His best friend is what's his name? That's his.
It's his rep,
Is his right hand guy
his agent.
that. But well, his agent. But the other guy that's McNamara or whatever. Rob, is it Rob?
Is it
He's the
his
one that
friend, or does
started.
he just know where the
It's
bodies are buried?
foundation. Well, he's always run. He's the one you see him walking and doing at golf tournaments, and he's maybe the GM of Jupiter Links. You see him around, you would recognize him. He's always right there. He's definitely on TGL. Rob McNamara, I think's his name.
I think
Anyway,
I've seen him. Yeah.
he's his sort of best friend. He hired him way back, and he's been his guy. But like, he's an enabler, right? He is a yes,
That's not
yeah,
a
I'll be
friend.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the friend that's like, I'm the right hand guy, but I've also, you're my boss, right?
Who's
You're my best
really
friend.
going to intervene with Tiger Woods is the
It would
point.
it would probably
His
take
kids.
someone.
Had to probably be his kids.
I was gonna say, well, no, I was gonna say his kids, and I think you heard I don't know if you heard, but the president made a comment, and the president, because of who he's dating, they've gotten to be really, really close. He's working with all them and all the kids in golf. And so I hear he's working with all of them. And so he doesn't drink. And that's a faux pas for him. And he has, if you, they drive, I heard him say, I like to drive, but I don't drink. And I don't get to drive anymore. You're Tiger Woods. I hate to say it, you've lost the privilege of driving your car anymore. Stop driving.
I didn't at this point have Mike Tyson on my least of concerns card. Put it that way. Okay. And Mike, as we know, he's certainly been through he's been in the barrel himself. But hell, all's quiet, it seems like, with even Mike Tyson these days. We've got John Daly actually finishing 3-round golf tournaments for the second week in a row on the Champions Tour.
Tiger Woods hit
less about John Daly right now than we are.
The person that I know said, and I knew this happened. He hit that fire hydrant, and he got hit with. She wasn't happy and hit him with some golf balls, and he had to go away to get some stuff fixed on that. But that was a driving into a thing, and he was on medicine that day, and then he falls asleep behind the wheel, not the 21, but the one where he's busted up the tires, and you just sitting there, no driver. Then the 21 thing, and it's all solo, just crazy stuff.
When somebody need to intervene with Tigers, when he did the damn Navy SEAL training, because that's what this really all goes back to, Casey. Somebody should have jumped in right there and said, what the hell are you doing?
You're creating pain for yourself that you're now having to mask. And I'll tell you what, some people would say he's gotten pretty big up here. Maybe that's why I did the urinalysis. But
see, people see that and he is ripped. But when I look at his face or, things like that, he hasn't looked good for a while, if we're being honest.
It's that's deep. There's definite, you can't have that many lot of surgeries and a lot of pain medication.
Yeah.
That stuff's not good on everyone.
Multiple people, it all goes back to Tiger. Don't get me wrong. He's responsible for Tiger, but it feels like he's been failed at a lot of turns. Going back to his pain management issues. And I understand he's been through a lot of surgeries, but there are people in the rehab world that can put you on a path, but it has to start very, very early. And it has to very much minimize that aspect of it, because it's absolutely a huge issue in our country. I mean, look at the entertainers that we've lost through the years, and the issues
Tom Petty.
Former athletes that struggle with it.
It's true. You're making a very valid point that is ultimately, it's just exactly what the friend that's the elder statesman who's close to this situation said. Got to stop playing golf, because it's what's, from what he was told right away.
It's the fuel for all this.
From his TW's putting coach told him that's why he's doing that's why he's taking the stuff. It's for the golf.
Yeah,
he wouldn't take it otherwise. So I think your point's right.
What was seemed like just perfect timing was What about Gary Woodland getting the job done in Houston over the weekend? A godsend, I'd say, for the PGA Tour. Same week as Tiger's latest turmoil. Gary Woodland, a week or two after coming out very publicly and speaking on the issues he's dealt with after his brain surgery and having a tumor removed and how it's impacted him in terms of anxiety and depression and all the things he's combating right now. That was a golf tournament played in Houston, but that was a Hollywood 3 or 4 days, wasn't it?
Oh, that was incredible. Congrats to him, fifth win, and feel good story. I agree. It needed that. That's something that was good to happen for all around. One of the nicest guys out there. Really, he's just a fantastic guy. I met him a couple of times. He was with Callaway back when I was with Callaway. 64, 63, 65, 67, and was just in such command of his golf ball. And he said that one of the rounds he only had one round this week where he went into the scoring and like had a breakdown. He got a little nervous coming in on 18, like the people he thought got close to him, and there's like this PTSD thing there. But he said talking through it is what's helping him, obviously now. And he's seeking help and talking through it. And it's sad that that's what's happened post brain surgery. And hey, look, proud of him, happy for him that he did have the courage to bring that out. That's what he thought was going to really help him. He was hiding. He felt like he was hiding that from from someone, and needs some support. And um, what I have to give credit to Randy Smith, his and golf instructor. I think Scotty Scheffler's instructor, who doesn't get the love that he should, given what he's doing. He got Gary Woodland to get Gary Woodland's leading the tour in driving distance, and he's up about 9 miles per hour in club head speed. And when he won the U.S. Open in 2019, he was like 122, 3 miles per hour. Got as high as like 124, and then um, after the surgery, he went down into the 217, 16s, couldn't get himself to swing it fast enough. And then Randy Smith gets him to say, just let it eat, right? You got to swing at it harder. You got to let it rip. And then I read where prior to this week, I read where they were doing all this different testing and he's a tinker, getting his club sort of back right because he's swinging harder. And he changed to his old original heavier iron shafts for this week, and felt like, all right, I'm back to like really swinging it now. And I heard him say that, some of it, as I've said even on here before, I feel like hitting a golf ball a long way is neurological to an extent. And when people ask me like, hey, how do you hit it so far? How can I'm like, I first of all, I'm going to tell you to take the head off the driver and just swing a shaft as fast as you can. You got to get your brain to really realize how fast you can swing it. And then when you put that head back on, you start trying to simulate that, right? But it's in here to allow you to really do that, because I'm not really seeing the ball as fast as I'm swinging at it, right? Visually, you're not. And so it is neurological. And man, I think that guy's going to be able to compete at the Masters and like have a chance to win. He's 127 club head speed, bombing it, and that's what you have to do over there.
And as you said, we know he is going to be one of those participants in the
He's one of the
2026 Masters.
and he's top five putter inside of 10 feet. And really, up until his surgery, he was like top two putter inside of 4 feet. Well, over there, and now you got this confidence back and you're feeling good. Over there, inside of 6 feet is like, if you can be really great in there, you got a really good chance to have a good week.
Started in Houston, 94th in the FedEx Cup standings, and with the win, moves up to that top 25 range. So massive jump for Gary Woodland, but more than anything, how that should help him as he continues to process a very difficult situation, as inspiring of a situation of a win as you'll ever see. 21 under, just great golf throughout the week. 64, 63, 65, 67. I thought he might need 68-ish still on Sunday to get the job done. He shoots 67. He wins by 5. What about some of our guys for the week in Houston? Casey,
We had Blades Brown. or he
Bryce
went to
Brown
Houston, but he was
in
Corn Ferry Tour. He had
Savannah.
a third.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had
yeah.
Houston. Who else do we have?
I had Jake Knapp. He was one of my
You got Jake
three.
Knapp. I had Goddard and
Yeah,
Minwoo Lee, who were top
yeah.
tens.
Very
Scotty was
nice.
my third.
I had Jake Knapp with the one of the three picks. He goes 62 on Sunday to backdoor
Saw
a
that.
T6. You love it. You love to see
Jake
that.
Knapp, Jake Knapp has not been skipping arm day. I don't know if you've noticed now.
No,
Those
no.
biceps have really
The
grown.
beach curls. Yeah, he's big on the beach curls, but he can hit it a long way. And he really got it going on Sunday to close out with some strength there in Houston. What about the Texas golf courses? I wanted to ask you about this. Man, they're a tough watch for me
Boring.
on TV. I just same thing coming up this week with San Antonio. It's just,
Craig
and
Ranch
I
is
understand
worse.
you've got what you've got to work with in the state of Texas. Okay. But boy, not very aesthetically pleasing, the Texas golf courses.
No, the Champions Club down in Houston, cool looking place. Some of those in Dallas, like Dallas Country Club, Shady Oaks, Colonial. But these most of the courses in Texas, I mean, even the ones I played, it's all pretty bland, pretty similar. Uh, yeah, not. I mean, no offense to Florida, but it's sort of the same type of thing. Topography, I don't think allows you to have the
No.
movement that you really want to have. You're in the north end of the state, but there's parts of Florida where it's like that. It's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
um and Texas is it's dry and it can have that little, dirtish
No
look a lot
trees.
up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
I'm with you.
brush, a lot of
I'm
brush.
not I'm not high on it. This week's field is really strong though. I
Yeah.
will say this, that golf course looked pretty good and last week. I thought it
Yeah.
was well maintained. It's a public course.
Yeah. A little bit different area, Texas, too, so you can still maybe have some greenery. So it was a classic sort of Parkland, I guess, type golf course there at Memorial Park. It's a Muni, so I appreciate that. But it is tough. You said it.
Memorial Park won't make it.
Colonial, I can hang in there, for 4 rounds. But with the golf courses otherwise, I did find myself tracking our guy Blades Brown there in the third and fourth round, and at Savannah at the Club Car
Which is
Championship
actually
on the Corn
aesthetically
Ferry.
pretty.
It was low country golf. You got some marsh on that golf course. Absolutely. So once again, though,
I
congratulations
don't
to
think
Gary
Houston's.
Woodland.
I don't think Houston will be on the. I think it'll be one of the ones.
You
You
think?
know, they're supposed to be upping venues and courses. They've realized. I'm like, duh. Why do you think that? Yes, Augusta National are the old course, or like, people get fired up when the Open goes to Shinnecock this year, or Pebble Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Golf course sells, and they really, I think, the PGA Tour for a long time had that double dipping, get to any TPC they could, and then they haven't had people going out. I don't feel like and doing golf course scouting. You want to really get your field strong. You have a really great golf course. You don't have to play for $30 million. If you have a really great golf course, and there's tons of them in the United States, you get good fields because they're wanting to test their games.
And there's too many of the TPC courses. Like this week, TPC San Antonio.
That's a double. So it's got to
It's
be now. It
it's
just
so
on paper.
lazy. It's so lazy by the tour.
It's got to be what it is. I think is, and it started when they were a nonprofit, right?
Yeah.
They own that, and
Right.
so they're renting that to themselves.
Right. I
And
get it,
there's
but like
that's
you
I mean,
said,
bottom line movement, but it's yeah. I mean they play the
that's a
champions.
JW Marriott course they're playing on this week. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a resort.
I mean the one that here I've won a couple of events at our TPC, but it's blah
Sugarloaf.
blah too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It Hideki or Sung JM plays out of there, and Stewart has too. It's good. I mean, I shouldn't poo poo on it. It's good. It's just it doesn't. And I don't get how the tour has put all those courses up, and they just
They don't move
they're
the
not
needle
designed
other than
well.
one. I mean,
Yours,
Hartford's a great event. and there's some fun holes there. The drivable par four on the backside, is always a fun hole to watch. But yeah, I mean, and listen, how about this for TPC San Antonio? Did a little background check on that golf course. How about this for the golf course bio, Casey? Here you go. You ready? Sergio Garcia lent his unique perspective in assisting celebrated golfer and renowned golf course architect Greg Norman with the design.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Did you realize that?
No.
The Oaks course at TPC San Antonio was a design by Liv Czar, former Czar, Greg Norman, and he got an assist from Liv member.
I think he's assisted at ours over here. I've heard Steve Elkington go on a rant about this before on a podcast, how he designed the one. He's obviously Houston ties. He designed the one in Louisiana, and David Toms, I think, helped do the same thing, consulting to the one in Houston. He was like, they don't. And Greg Norman over here at TPC, I think he's consulted over this one. Yeah,
I've been to Southwind in Memphis. I've been to Louisiana. And I promise you, if you blindfolded me, didn't tell me where we were, took me out to the middle of the property, took the blindfold off and said, okay, which are you at? Southwind or Louisiana? I wouldn't have any. I would just guess. I might get it right because it's a 50-50, but otherwise I'd be clueless.
I mean, the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, if they had, the TPC would get a significant upgrade if they could swap a few of the courses. And they put their money into those courses. Some of those layouts are significantly better. I heard the TPC got this close to landing a deal in Huntsville and last year, and it fell through right at the last minute.
It's a lot of great golf in the state of Alabama with that Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. Hey, as far as the Texas Open this week, I don't know. Maybe we should pick a left-hander because the last 2 years, Brian Harmon, the defending champ, the lefty from St. Simon's Island, and then Ashke Batea 2 years ago won this event. I don't think we're going to see Akshay this week coming back from India, where he did not make the cut on the DP World Tour. I'll say this before we get really into the Texas Open. I did watch some of that Indian Open, and really, really cool golf course on television. I don't know if it's fun to play. Oh gosh, the bunkering and the tight nature of those fairways, and boy, a lot of risk reward.
Yeah, that's a long way to go to play. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to get paid a lot if I was in their shoes to go down there.
Well, Akshay is he's a hero guy, and it was the hero, I guess, Indian Open. So yeah,
he's part of that contract in the front end to you come down here.
And get your
play.
ass.
And you know what? You're in luck because one of my 3 plays for this week is left-handed. Oh, Bobby Mack. Give me Robert McIntyre, Tommy Fleetwood.
You got 2 of my 3. What?
And I'm not going to go straight chalk because it would be unfair if I picked Morikawa, but I'm going to take Blades Brown.
Okay. All right. I went
Maverick off a third place and win. Oh, I like Maverick McNeely.
I went Bobby Mack, like you. I went Tommy, like you. Because that course kind of feels like a golf course or golf courses that they'll be very comfortable with. Maybe more so even Bobby Mack because he's won that Scottish Open. I get Scottish Open vibes.
Corey Connors has always dominated there, and he cannot putt a lick.
Yeah.
Or would have a chance. He literally still hits it like $1 million, and he cannot putt. So
Sepp Straka was right there on the outside looking in for me in my 3.
Sepp Straka's he's one of those that look. I mean, his stats even point to him being in that category that statistically could win next week based off of all the little strokes gained stuff. Yeah, he's good. I think we're both thinking Tommy Fleetwood, who I was told was at Augusta last week, played with some people that I know, and said he spent a wad in the members golf shop after and gonna wear. My friend's making his belts, and because he hasn't worn them, he's wearing a whole Augusta National get up. He's
Script.
gonna be
Very cool.
he's gonna have it all week. He's gonna do that. So that's the really one he's been looking forward to
So he's
doing.
going to be like a fan would be playing Augusta because, a fan like myself or just about anyone
Yeah,
else out there, it's probably not, I don't know, if you're a member of Augusta, it's probably almost expected that you wear the garb. But to me, it's almost like when I go play different golf courses, if I have their logo on something, I won't wear it during that round because when I was a kid, like if you went and saw Van Halen, Casey, back in the early 1800s, that's how old I am. If you went and saw Van Halen, you didn't wear a Van Halen t-shirt to the Van Halen show, if that makes any, if you wanted to be cool anyway.
I totally get it. And there's only one place I do, well, maybe two that I do that. And it's two local places where a bunch of friends are members. I am places and I know the pros. And it actually is just, you don't get stopped. I'm
Yeah.
just, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, like just keep
By the
rolling
way,
in the,
I'm logoless too, Casey. If anybody, you're
you need
logoed
a
up, but
little country club of Birmingham.
yeah,
It
well,
took
that's
it
not
took a
bad.
it took a little
North
hole
and the
out
South.
on the
Yeah.
last hole to break some hearts, and they owed me a bunch of shop credit.
I know a couple of guys like you that are what I call the mercenaries of the member guests. They bring them in, put them up, 5-star hotel, best meals, per diem, to win that member guest. That's Casey Smith and then my buddy Sully. It's kind of that same boat. So we're pretty closely aligned on our trio of picks for this Texas Open. As you said, Colin Morikawa also in the field. Straka,
This is a
I
good.
think
This is a good. This is a
Fowler's in
good
the field.
field. Yeah, this is a good field. I mean, look, a lot of guys want to play the week before they play the Masters. I would
And
want to
they'll have
play.
this thing set up as best they can, won't they? To sort of emulate
Oh yeah,
as
yeah, yeah,
best they
yeah. I mean,
can.
it's a recruiting. They're using everything like that they can in recruiting. Green speeds at least.
Hmm.
They'll get them as fast as they can get them for that.
Fringes,
It's tighter. Yeah, all that
roughs.
stuff.
Yeah,
I would say the deal is there's a lot of them because of the way the live schedule's off, and some of them don't like playing this event. Are not playing where historically they would play that week before. I was looking at a chart today, and also like there's the load of people that were in the favored category who at Augusta, like the last whatever winners have played the week before or played one of the last 2 weeks before. So there's a lot of these guys based on the schedule didn't play last week, not playing this week.
do you
Where
worry about
they're
Scotty at all with this paternity leave gap going to Augusta,
you
or
know
no big deal?
I think no, because I think it's all going to be with him. You can just know when he's dialed or not, right?
Hmm.
I feel like it's swing grooved a little bit.
Yeah,
I would say he'll probably be relieved. I'm sure he's probably getting some work in. He's obviously
sure.
very comfortable with that place.
Hmm.
I think to me, I think there's a much greater group that can win this year at Augusta than there has been in a long time. And I went and looked at Liv's roster today, and I was looking at the PGA Tour top roster. They got a really, really good roster over there right now. It's their greatest asset for sure. And those guys, Bryson and Rom definitely can win. Patrick Reed can win, right? Um, over here, there's a whole list of them. But like the
Hmm.
Cam Youngs, the Gary Woodlands, those guys
Hmm.
are right there in all those categories that
They
it
got the
points
game
to
in
that you
that
can win.
place. Yeah. Especially with Young putting it better, a lot better these days, or at
Yeah,
least
I mean,
somebody can
Xander's
run up
played good.
close for him.
Morikawa's played good. Those guys we've just
Hmm.
talked about, they could all be factors over there. Justin Rose. I mean, there's a pool. Brooks Koepka. There's a pool to me right now, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if, somebody like a Phil Mickelson or a past champion doesn't have a good week because it always seems to happen over there.
Yeah.
I feel like Jordan Spieth's been sitting on go. I feel like Ludwig is someone else that's
Neither one
going to
of
be
us
in
even
play.
mentioned Spieth this week in Texas. You
Yeah,
know,
this
he's
could be
won
the
there.
week.
Yeah.
it would be funny him to win this week when he's
Home
definitely
game.
wanting to win next week. Yeah, that's a
Um,
good outside pick.
you know, speaking of Liv, what'd you make of Jim Nance's comments about having watched Bryson DeChambeau only on YouTube with his son in
I,
advance of the upcoming Masters? Do you buy that? Do you balk at that? Do you think if it's true, it's not doing service to preparation for his job? Where are you at on those comments?
you're making way too much money. If I was your boss and you're the person signing your contract, I would say you're making way too much money to be saying that, and
But
you
what
need
if
to get
his
to
boss?
watching.
What if CBS doesn't want him talking about Liv
I would say to make
or
the
watching Liv?
experience best possible. I don't think anybody would want you to do that. I think they would want you to know in and out.
Well, or at
Preparation
least
is
not publicly make that proclamation. And here's what I will say about Nance's comments. When I first heard him, I said he's full of crap. But I'll tell you how I watch Live for the most part. I'm not I'm indifferent Live guy. Okay. But I love golf. I love watching golf. So if his comments were actually more in line with I watch the condensed highlights, which Liv puts out on YouTube. After every round, they put out about a 20-minute package, which is awesome. Because
I
if you
watch it.
miss the
It's great.
coverage, yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's what he meant, is that he watches it from that perspective.
He said I've watched him on YouTube, with his kid or whatever. That's sort of
But
what they
Bryson is
said.
also very big in YouTube golf as an influencer. So maybe he meant it as almost a condescending, yeah, I watch him on his YouTube channel, which
Well, and
isn't
I
really a
would assume
flex because it's booming right now.
that's huge, and I would he's making a lot of money on it. I would assume it's probably where he's been calling games and where Liv's playing. It's
Yeah.
two different worlds as well as far
It
as time
is.
zones.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easy to get caught up quickly on. I would refrain from making that comment, but it's easy to get caught up pretty quickly on what Bryson DeChambeau can do.
Right.
He's definitely in play to win.
And Nance already
You
knows. He already knows what the guy can do. So how much it's not like football or basketball where there could be changes in system. I guess swing changes, but this hadn't changed with Bryson.
well, I wanted to say one more thing about Tommy Fleetwood Augusta National. I mean, is that the play of all plays to go? You get the inside track on that that membership, and the members are always going to host you because Jeff Knox, who's been the marker forever, and now the other guy that's the marker, wear the stuff.
Yeah,
that's what they wear when they're the marker. They're members. They wear that. That is a place where if you are a member and you're on property, you have to, if you're playing golf, be in their attire. If you're inside, you're in your jacket, and your guests have to be jacket and tie and under a roof. So Fleetwood, maybe, they don't have a long haired member. So,
But you know what? I mean, there are people that are hardcore tour people. Back to Nance a little bit as we wrap that up. I mean, there's people very loyal to their brand, to their employee or their employer. I mean, I had a friend growing up, Casey. His dad he oversaw the local Coca-Cola distributorship. And I can promise you, in hanging around that family for 15, 18 years of my childhood and my young adulthood, there was never a Pepsi product in that house. No Mountain Dew, no Dr. Pepper. It didn't matter. I mean, they were hardcore. But yeah, I mean, there's some context there that we're probably not entirely sure about.
My man Spencer Birchfield over in Tuscaloosa.
And it's not a big deal either way.
Well, my man Spencer Birchfield over in Tuscaloosa on that distributorship for Anheuser-Busch for like 40 something years. And I've never seen him drink or have a non, product. I get it.
We played youth sports together, me and my buddy. And our ballpark, because of my buddy's dad, had Coke. I mean, it was coked out in the concession stand. Now, one of our rival ballparks that we would go play at, they were Pepsi, and I never saw them they get stuff from the concession stand, but they would just drink out of a spigot before they would drink Pepsi. So there you go. Totally non-related, really. But hey, I wanted to get in a little bit of equipment talk with you before we get out of here tonight.
Yeah,
something.
two quick things before we go to equipment.
Okay, do it.
Alabama native Stewart Sink,
Yes,
six
yes.
when I look. My buddy Mike teaches them 5.894 million on the and out of 40 cuts. I don't know if you saw it. I watched some of the highlights. I watched some of actually the live on the albatross. He made an albatross
6 iron.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that was really cool. Two eagles on Saturday, an albatross. And then Nelly Corda, who has only lost to one golfer this
yeah.
year, the girl who beat her again, the Kim girl. She's got a
Ju Kim is unreal right now.
Nelly's got a first, second, and second. She's only lost to one person.
Yeah, she is. Kim is.
I heard
Yeah, I'll
she's
take
really
her. You
good.
can have Anthony Kim. You can have Michael Kim. I'll take Ju Kim right now. She is on an
Siwoo Kim.
absolutely. Yeah,
She,
I'll give
yeah.
you all the Kim.
Nelly said her caddy. I read something was pretty cool. He was walking up 18, and she said that he was like, his name's Jason McDeedy, and he was like, you're playing, you're a little bummed. It's your lowest. She says to him, "This is the lowest I've ever shot in a tournament, her second lowest, and I'm not going to win." And he's like, "You're playing some awesome. Like I'm having to make sure you know."
Yeah,
And she's like, "He had to remind me like it's time to inflate and not to deflate. This is otherworldly. This person's doing, but you got a first, second, second." She was like, "I really was like super bummed out." And I look up and I'm like, well, minus 26. How can I really get mad about minus
and that's how
26? Which is
I feel like
wild.
he's employed with one of the best
That
bags in the
that that
world.
that girl
Ball
is on
golf.
a heater.
Absolutely. There's not much you can do about it. All right, some equipment talk before we get out of here. Casey, I was at the PGA Tour Superstore earlier today because sometimes there's like this magnetic pull. I'll be out at this shopping area we have here in Duval, and I'm just minding my own business, taking care of some errands. And then as I go by that superstore, that tour store, I just get pulled right over there. And boy, I made the mistake today, Casey. And we talked about the spider and the mallets. And the spider yesterday, I played up in Amelia Island, Fernandina Beach area there on the northeast Florida coast, and it behaved well. But I still went to that putter section at the PGA Tour store today, grabbed one of those DF3 labs,
Oh, I've
38
had one.
inch with sort of that reverse taper super stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't have done that, my man. Shouldn't have. I
Making
didn't buy it.
putts
No. Well, you know how it is. I mean, in the store,
in there.
it's like
In
they've got it
there.
rigged under the floor where everything just damn goes in the hole.
They
But
do.
man, that thing, I see why. I see why.
It's
Yeah.
got a good feel. I tell you what,
600,
that's fine.
620 retail, by the way, $620. It could be
Just
yours.
call. I can get something way better than that for you.
All right. All right. Well, we'll talk.
Yeah, it's super, super. The Spider first tournament
I
got a
was going to
first
ask,
place
woo, 1 for 1. The
in Indian Hills
conversion.
Country Club, and the best thing about it is, you'd asked last week if I played. The best feeling in the world, and I think that's probably what goes to the start of the show of why the guy's chasing it. That's a regular event, but
Yeah.
we played in the group in the juice, and I go literally natural golf, natural ball, like birdie, eagle, birdie
Yeah.
to take the lead.
Yeah.
And that's just like sticking in my veins, you
Oh, I
know.
know. I know.
And it was like
I
the heater of all time, and I haven't been under the gun like that. And I said that, I'm like, man, I'd buy that by the
mhm.
millions. That right there is the best feeling, getting under the gun and golf and good. And it probably is why he does that. And his is at a macro level of that.
It is. Also at PGA Tour, the PGA Tour store today, they had a 4-pack of the Mizuno gloves, the good gloves.
Hell of a
Four,
deal.
yes, 4 for $35 right now. So I'm not. We
Whoa.
don't have a deal with PGA Tour store yet. But they did that, and I had the rewards there, so I had a $10 off. So I got 4 really good gloves for $25. It was just a great day today.
$6 a tour glove. That's a
Pretty damn
dang
good.
good
Yeah,
deal.
Mizuno gloves right now if you need
The
one.
early season yet. See, yeah, we'll go up there. We just opened one here in Buckhead, but I can't say that too loud because I'll get Get a hand slapped on the hand due to some of the other golf stores that I do go venture in.
Yes,
They
yes. Be
are. You're
careful.
right though. You get sucked in quickly when you drive in there, and I don't know. I've always said, are the holes bigger? Do you have a track? You know,
But you know this, Casey, better than anyone, and certainly better than me. When you grab a putter, even before you hit the first putt with it, if it feels that
you
good,
know, you
you
know.
know. And so I got to stay
There's
away
a
from those.
reason why there's people that every single week this year
Yeah.
out there on that tour,
Oh,
they're getting
absolutely.
free putter. They're searching, right? That next week could be they're just looking for that edge. Use that club the most. I mean,
If the spider hadn't behaved so well yesterday, there would have been a dent in the oldest daughter's wedding budget for August, I'm afraid. Something would have some of the flowers we'd had to cut back on. Maybe the DJ is 2 hours instead of three. That's what you're looking at with the financial sacrifice with these damn putters nowadays, man.
that putter market, since I was in the game, it
Cuckoo.
was growing there, and you're obviously always trying to go up as high as you can. But I see the prices on some. I know that the materials can't be any more than what they were, so they've made a lot more margin in putters than they were. Putter was a lower margin product for a long time,
Interesting.
but there was always, as you probably remember, well, a two ball was 119, and then it goes up to
What's the
29.
hottest market in the golf industry right now? If you had to pick one, equipment, or is it shoes, pre-owned clubs? What's
Well, yeah, I mean, I would say now that you have retail stores that have these 90-day return
Mhm,
policies, so they're selling new. And so
right?
this time of year, all the new launches, like Titleist just moved their new launch up 2 months. They're for the first time ever, they're going to have their launch product in the Masters. They launched this past week. That drivers right now, this time of year, all your major brand drivers are really a hot ticket item. People
Yeah,
get through, let's call it May, June. You get really big iron months. Irons really get picked up because people play. They'll get a driver, and then they'll get probably want to get fit. If you see irons sort of fall in that second wave,
yeah,
to an all year buy an irons if you're at members at a club, they're doing fittings there. Usually wedges or something that are bought along with irons or after irons, and putters are really, it is a first quarter of the golf season type
mhm.
buy. A lot of people go get a putter early
Got the
on,
fever. Yeah,
putter and a driver, and then all those companies are doing specials on the golf balls this time period. Buy three, get one free. People buy a lot of their golf balls now because that you can manipulate the system and they'll get their balls. Then I think shoes and clothes and all that. I think it's sort of buy as you need. But this is a woods are hot, and putters are hot this time of year.
yeah, yeah. Got the fever. The golf shops are kind of like the grocery store. Don't go to the grocery store when you're hungry,
Don't go to the golf shop when you played bad.
or
Or
you're
they're
or
launching
you're or you're
products.
or the weather's trending towards golf season.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
mean, you think about there's your market, the desert where you were, and
Yeah.
your market are coming really, they go out of season around
Right.
May. Everything else is transitioning into season. And then as you go up the Northeast, opening a season and their peak season summer. So it is a
Interesting.
Sun Belt, non-Sun Belt,
Well, it's
that's what they
basically year
call it.
round, is what that tells me for the golf
Yeah, and
club in
the best
Valero.
territories to be in golf, truthfully, like mine, it was huge here in Atlanta. Too big. I mean, it's the biggest one. Your territories are greater. Your Sunbelt territories because they're tighter. So like
Mhm.
your West Palm Beach, Jupiter person is in that area, and their busy season is you know from fall until now. They're done the rest of the year. Those people go back up north, right after Easter. So those areas out in the desert too, it gets hot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, and speaking
yeah,
of that, and then golf equipment, I should have done a better job investing in sunscreen already. I can't get my head around, so to speak, that it's something you really need to do. So I don't know if you can see
same.
it, Casey, but the top
Ooh
of the
boy,
head, I had visor on yesterday. I got Stuart Sinkhead. I mean, like third degree. So wear
this
your
is funny. It's
sunscreen.
funny. Funny. I played in that thing Thursday. Sent a picture to the girl I'm dating. It looked like the top of your head. I I get back home. She's like, "No, you got to have this. This is crazy that
Well,
you
I
actually
don't
didn't wear
want to. I
sunscreen."
don't want to spend money on the restoration. So I just got to really tan it up. That's all I can do, man. That's what I got to work with at this point.
Can't tell you can't tone it, tan it, right?
That's right. That's been the approach to fitness for about 10 years now. You know, tan or
Well,
tone, tan or tone.
I,
I go. I gotta
I,
go tan more.
you know, I don't
Look,
wear,
it worked for Ric Flair for a long time.
I don't wear. I feel like because I have not, I worn visors instead of hats to play golf most of my life. I those guys on the tour, they don't have hair up here because they've been wearing those hats. I feel like there's something there. So then
Mhm.
I've let that, read enough about getting vitamin D, and then now in the last couple months, from different people, I've heard, you better be putting on some sunscreen.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
definitely need to because I lost the war on hair, or the war on me was lost a little while back. But hey, man, a lot of fun as always. Really appreciate the insight from the Tiger perspective, and then previewing this week's Texas Open, looking ahead to Augusta National. Man, you
and
ready?
Jackson Coven didn't has not gotten invited as of today in the Masters, and he's like, they've always leaned into the amateur
They're going to do like two.
world.
Did they? Will they do two guys, or how will that
Well,
work?
they do. It's currently, they've always have the right to invite whoever they want, and then they have the champion and the runner up in the U.S. Amateur
Right.
are get invites. But this kid is like, he really has right
Oh yeah.
now the most acclaimed
Yeah.
uh
Amateur number
status of
one in the
all,
world.
and I mean
Yeah.
they would only invite someone that they thought could win the tournament. And
Yeah.
had he not played in, and I'm a Bama guy, but I think that it would be something they should consider. he they're going to only ask someone who can win the tournament in that regard. He finished in the top 10 3 PGA Tour events he played in,
Yeah.
and he's won 3 of the 4 college events he's played in this year. The fall he played in 3 PGA Tour events, finished in the top 10, and
He's
then
real
now
good.
this. I mean, he's definitely got the game, and for they're usually savvy and smart about it because the rate. I mean, they get it right. The
Mhm.
ratings, you get an amateur on that leaderboard, people go
We
nuts.
watch Blades Brown every chance we get. I
Yeah, love
watched
it.
I watched probably more of the Savannah Corn Ferry event over the weekend than I did. I mean, I kept up with Houston, obviously. I had them kind of simultaneously going, but in terms of investing in true interest, I like watching Blades Brown already play golf. But
Blades Brown, I've got him favorited on my app,
see where
and
Miles Russell too backdoored a top 10 in Savannah. So he was going to caddy for Asterisk
all that. I saw that.
um, in Augusta at the women's event, and now I guess he's going to be playing again on
He's
the
in the.
Corn Ferry.
I looked today. He's in the field in the Corn Ferry. It's Florida. It's Florida, and it's
Yeah,
somewhere in Florida, south of you, I think.
Asterisk Tally. Yeah,
Yeah, he's not going to be caddying for her, which I don't blame him.
you got a
Yeah, I,
you got a
I
spot in
mean,
the Corn Ferry event. Yeah,
yeah, I
keep it
mean,
rolling.
you're not winning money, but you're. I
Yeah.
mean, this is the thing where Charlie Woods, if he goes and plays well, why? I mean, why would he not turn pro?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you go play good golf,
Gonna have to play better
um,
to that junior invitational, and that's understanding.
well, I mean
That's
Charlie Woods. I meant Miles Russell. You
Miles
go if you
Russell.
go
Okay.
you're like you're saying, you go keep it rolling.
Yeah.
You just don't know in golf.
Nick Dunlap.
That's the Nick Dunlap and Gordon Sargent.
Yeah.
I mean, those two guys right there were the biggest two can't miss of all time.
And they're headed to that Texas Open this weekend, trying to find
Nick
something.
Dunlap is just trying to make a cut,
Yeah.
and Gordon Sargent, same. I mean, he's only making a third of his cuts.
Yeah.
They were can't miss. I mean, and I don't see them like Bobby Wyatt, who's a stud and
Hmm.
crushing it over here now as an amateur. He didn't like the tour. A little different, I think, and he was a can't miss. But
Yeah.
still, I think maybe one of the best swings. These two kids won. You know, that they were prodigies to be pros, wanted to be pros. Dunlap turned pro early because he wanted to be a pro. He hated school.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Which I
I
feel
think
him
he's
on
got to
that.
sound the alarm, man. Sound the alarm. They got to get something going on. New teacher, new driver. That's what I've been saying about him. It's the driver yips. You got to go try shaft links, shaft weights. I feel like give
And
me
all the
half a
access
day.
they have out there to that stuff, though.
It's the
Is it a
definition of
hesitancy
insanity.
to do it? Is it just,
It's I think when people are really, really talented like that and they've been really good, they also can think that I can do fix this. I'm
yeah,
gonna dig this out of the dirt.
I've
It's
always
not
done it this way.
this
Yeah.
it's not this is the club that I've hit and the shaft that I've hit. I know enough about golf clubs to know you can manipulate a miss by weight and length because it's not all clubs. It's one
Hmm.
club. He's
That's
all of those
true.
other stuff's fine.
Yeah.
You can change that just like that. Heavy, heavy gets it really on plane, but length
Which is
of
easier to
shaft.
fix, driver yips or like chipping yips? Seems like chipping yips are tough because you see people going one-handed, cross-handed.
I
Um,
think people are doing that because that people have not had. There's so many ways I think
Tiger
to
had the
minimize.
chipping yips.
He did.
Went through
You're
it.
sitting over it and you're I played with this guy the other day. He had had the yips. He just started to play as the president of his company. He put a golf simulator in. So you don't chip in a golf simulator, right? So he's hitting it, hitting it, hitting it. Any time inside of 50 yards. And I said, just focus on the inside third of the ball. That's all I want you to think about. Because
Hmm.
he's not stabbing, he's now finishing that way.
Right.
And it's just an exaggeration of bang.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he hits one to like 5 feet. He's like, no way. And he's not great. He's like, he goes and doesn't have any more shots. But
Right.
it's all mental. The driver just gets going so wide. I
Yeah.
don't play the left dash golf ball because I swing at it at 125, 126. It goes further offline if I play the left dash, even though it's longer offline. You're trying to do everything to tighten your dispersion, swing as hard as you can, hit as hard as you can, far as you can, but the dispersion has got to be there. I think with him, Dunlap, his shots are it's Matt Every stuff, way
Yeah.
offline.
Yeah. Off the planet.
I mean, if he's not in the field this coming week, but it's actually like if he was in the field and he didn't play good there last year, but if you're gonna want to have driver issues, you would want to be at Augusta pretty
Yeah.
much. Memorial Park, and he missed the cut by one. Um, but I think it's just length. Their standard length for a long time there. The last thing I would say is like stock is 45 and a half. Most of the people on tour are playing 45-inch length drivers.
Hmm.
Gary Woodland was playing 44 and three quarters. You got some at 45 and a half. What they learned, I played 45. What they learned over time, golf club manufacturers made their stock 45 and a half to 46 because they thought for a while there, the longer the club, the further you would hit it. That's pretty much the case for the average golfer, right? As you get into elite and you swing it faster, like Rory plays 45. He was at 45 and a half and then switched and wins the Masters. He wasn't near as controlled. And he's like, I wasn't swinging as fast. Same for me. And I don't know if some of that stature, but it's also confident center hits, right? Center of face
Hmm.
hits. Trying to find that. And you will see drastic number changes by going and they have all the means, like you said, 44 and a half, you can add a ton of swing weight. Because when
Hmm.
you pick up a 44.5-inch driver at a tour player, they lose that. You're losing some really heavy in that shaft, what you want for
Hmm.
playing. And so that's where I'm just like, where are the fitters and the engineers?
Hmm.
Because I know when I was at Callaway, we could tell them, you
Right.
know, this
Right.
person needs this, and this, and it happens.
Yeah.
You would
It
see a
just,
miss. You would see a miss like a whacked out miss you can really fix.
There's an incredible amount of information out there, but at the end of the day, part of it too is the player has to be very open to it and receptive to it. And even if they may on the surface come off as, if they're not internally bought in at that point.
No, because then what they do is this. That's why there's these huge huge bags of these clubs in those areas at Callaway. They're full of graveyard clubs. They go out there, they make 4 or 5 swings, and they go, that's out. Give me my old driver back. It's not, I'm hitting my irons great. I'm hitting my fairway wood great. It's not this. Well, yeah, it really is. You can fix this. So,
yeah. Well, we hope we fixed a few things here tonight on a Monday night here on Reier on YouTube with Casey Smith. I'm Travis Reier. Always a lot of fun. Casey, I think we'll be excited next week when we get
Tiger Woods play or not?
I'm going no, man. I'm going he's not playing, but hey.
I'm going to say 50-50 ceremonial. I think 50% chance plays, 50% chance he will be there. And I think if he's there, he won't do media. He'll be in that.
Yeah.
I think you could see him in some type of just be a role and be there, like sort of own up to it and be at the Champions Dinner.
Well, we know he won't be at the drive, pitch, and putt. Anyway.
No.
We'll wrap it up on a Monday night. For Casey Smith, I'm Travis Reier. Thank you so much for tuning in right here on Reier on YouTube.
I just got what you just said.
I wondered if that was a Delta 737 going over your head, but hey,
I was like, damn. That's in there with COVID Morikawa.
We won't be in Augusta, but we'll be back next week. There we go. He got the Chick-fil-A cup. That's how you know he's ATL, baby. All right.
Right.
Waffle House off camera there. You just can't see it. Casey, we'll do it next week. There he goes. Casey Smith. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Till next week. So long, everybody.